Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. My name is KJ, and today is my spoiler review for the new series on Disney Plus by Star Wars, Darth Maul, Shadow Lord, Episode 1 spoiler review. So if you have not seen this show, please pause this. But before you go, could you hit the thumbs up button, aka the like button, come back and let me know what you think about Episode 1 for Star Wars Maul, Lord of the Shadow. So again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. This episode begins, the dark revenge begins with a bank heist on planet Jinx. And fans who have been paying attention to the lead in Marvel Comics mystery Star Wars Shadow of Maul will already be familiar with this world and at least a few inhabitants. Those doing the robbing of the members of Maul's alliance of criminals known as the Shadow Collectives, here made up of Mandalorians, Commandos, and Dath Marina Night Brothers. In an exciting action sequence to the Shadow Collective makes off with the transport's vaults, basically in like a armored truck. They're doing a bank robbery. Full of credits, but not only they prioritize taking a bank droid, leaving lots of money behind. More on that later, which is a clever plan of the substance. The police chase ends in a landing platform. Now, already I'm shocked that they're doing this show's format, obviously with the Star Wars element, but also adding that police show, TV show type format like the Rookies or, the classic police shows that I can't think of right now. But, it's probably like there's a detective that's a good detective, like a Jim Gordon from Batman. And everybody else in the police station is a good cop, and there's the corrupted cops. And, again, this is Star Wars, so they have to report back to the Empire. So obviously they're adding those elements, but it's such a weird, but I think it makes sense that it's like a cop show, but with Star Wars. So I'm okay with that. And I can honestly just live with that. So again, the police are chasing them, and of course, this police chase ends on a landing platform where the bandits' leader, former Sith Lord who's dropped the Darth, is now simply called Maul. And, reveals himself to their pursuers and emerges victorious in a scuffle against their blasters, thanks to some very fancy lightsaber moves. So, even the cops can knock Maul down. And after we get to the title card, we meet exiled Jedi Padawan Devin Ezra and the Master Ikadu Daki, who are evidently more survivors of the Order 66 event, as this series takes place in the wake of the rise of the Galactic Empire, and are hiding on Janix. Devin is arrested for attempting shoplifting, but obviously she's stealing fruit from the carts because they obviously have no money and she's hungry, and her masters warn her not to make a scene, so she's taken to the police station in the aftermath of the bank heist at the local police. And this is where we meet a detective named Brandon Larson. And it's an investigation scene of the crime along with a droid partner 2B02 or Two Boots. And it turns out the bank is under control of a crime lord named Nico Demis. And they are selling, and then I think they're selling or calling a meeting for a rival mob boss called Ludo Vario. And to accuse him of orchestrating the heist. Vero is a like alien species of the same as like a different race of the Tyrael of in like Star Wars. And you don't, and one way you can recognize that character, that species, is from the movie Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So that's where you get them. But at the police station headquarters, Lawson and Two Boots run a scan on an image of Maul recorded by one of the droids at the scene of the massacre, and as the result comes back classified, Two Boots, of course, insists on reporting this to the Empire as pure official instructions, but Lawson doesn't want to involve them just yet. So obviously he's a good guy and he understands the Empire. You know, they may not handle the situation the right way. They may do it in an evil way, and obviously he can tell. At the Shadow Collective headquarters, Maul has been having visitors of new apprentices. He who believes to be on Janix. His plan is to pit those who wrong him against each other become clear as he discusses his strategy with Rootcast. And one of his Mandalorian loyalists who is previously met in the Star Wars Darth Maul, son of Darmarketh in the comic books, and he was also in the final season of the Clone Wars back at Nika's Demen's Dens. He and Luke Various sit down for dinner and are served the bank droid's head on a platter. Now this is like some Godfather stuff, like this, and I'm like enjoying this show because like in that it's like again police show with a mob like Godfathers or The Sopranos, like, you know. And it's crazy, like, it's crazy because, like, there's obviously going to be Jedis, you're going to see lightsabers, you're going to see the Star Wars stuff, but they're going to do this in a different way. And again, I like the graphics to this so far, to the art to this, so I really like it. And you know, since this is not like a live action, but it is part of the Star Wars universe, I like the tone with it too. It's like dark and grimy. And when they revealed the head of that droid on the plat, you know, there was like a shock value to it, and just the way they drew that and put that in animation, I thought, well, it really set the tone up of like where this is kind of going. Is they're gonna, a lot of these mobs and this poor planet that Maul has landed on, he's gonna like manipulate and gaslight, and they're not gonna realize they're fighting and going to war with each other for nothing. And that's how they're setting this up in a way, because the only person who's gonna benefit is Maul, because this is like all his plans. So he did this on purpose. Like he really did this on purpose to get people shaken up. And again, because when that happens, the chaos broke out between the two of the crime lords. This scrims ends with Demis dead at Vario's hand, and Vario's taken into custody by the Jenks police. Now, during his interrogation, he spills the beans on the Shadow Collective and asks for protections from Larson and Two Boots, who place him in a holding cell across the hallway from Devin Ezra. This sets up the final action sequence for the episode, which we see Maul and his warriors invading the police station, taking a bunch of security droids out, Spriggan Vero, who managed to have his life spared in exchange for information on the Pike syndicates on who Maul is also seeking revenge. But before he leaves, Maul senses Devon's presence in her cell and opens up the door. She immediately recognizes him and utters his name, and the episode ends as she is consumed in shadow. Now, what I like about that scene too is I love, like, I just love how he walked in, like, as the cool kids say, he is aura farming. Like, his presence is just such a badass. And I'm really geeked up that we're going to see so much lightsaber action. And I like this, they're using this story of how Maul and Devon first met and how she becomes his, like, Padawan. And it's just like, it's like Anakin, going to the dark side and becoming Darth Vader. But Maul is like, he's still, he's such a badass in his own way. And, like, the stuff she's going to learn from him, you're going to see how good she gets. She's already good now with the lightsaber, but the way she's going to learn from him is going to be insane, and I cannot wait for this. And it's really cool because this is a Sith Lord story. So this is about the villains being villains, right? This is evil. This is dark, dominating, having victories. But we're also going to see the good guys win, of course, too. And what else is interesting is this type of show that they're doing with helps newer audience discover who Maul is as a person, like his background. I mean, and to be honest, this is a show where you but you definitely need to do your homework to understand the Star Wars concept of this show, because you should definitely watch, like, the Clone Wars, the Star Wars prequels, because to truly understand who Maul is, which he's no more. He used to be Darth Maul, but now he dropped the Darth. He's just Maul. Because obviously, in the Star Wars timeline, Darth Vader is the new Darth. That's why it's like, because he failed his master, and then his master took Anakin, Palpatine, basically. And this is about, he has a brother. We know Maul has a brother. We know Maul has family. We know Maul's history. But if you're new to this is definitely, I would suggest do your homework and rewatch those for sure. But for somebody like me and the other people who are just listening to this spoiler review, we all know that what this relationship leads up to. And this has deep layers. Like, these are people like Anakin Skywalker who becomes Darth Vader in a way. They've been betrayed. They're heartbroken. And this is for them, this is the aftermath of Order of 66 for Devon, right? And just see her become who she becomes as an adult. She's young now and she's reckless. And, her just shoplifting is the sign of, like, she's tired of listening to the Jedis, right? She's tired. She's been, traumatized. She's upset, and she's kind of lost. And Maul's gonna give her a new purpose in life, a new way of living, and we're gonna see layers of layers with these two characters for sure. And this is gonna, I can guarantee this is a show is gonna show the pain and the hatred that they have from the past, right? And I'm so excited to see this. But I really, again, I like to just point this out. I really think that's really cool that they're using like a TV police show format, because we're really going to obviously look through the perspective at times through each episode between with Detective Larson, because we're gonna see it through his perspective, because he's not a Jedi. He's just like a police officer. He's a detective. And we're going to see what he goes through and what he struggles, and how, you know, the Sith Lord and the Jedis have affected the whole galaxy, and how this affects him personally, how this affects his family, his job, and the planet Janix, how that affects it. And again, if you read the comic books and you know the Star Wars stories, you know the business. So I definitely am so excited. And again, this is really good. I love the art to it. I think it has a little bit of Bad Batch, like animation graphics, but it really sticks to like the Star Wars Clone Wars type graphics too. But I think they're a little bit better graphics than the Bad Batch animation graphics. To me, this show does. And I love like the red. Obviously, it's red because his saber's red, and it just the way they make it bright red. I mean, it looks so good, and very talented people who put this together. So, and just to start off this story, I like how it kicked it, like they shotgun it. It started off with a high chase speed of action, and then they slowed it down in the right places, because they had to introduce Devin, and they had to introduce the detective to give you an idea of like who they are and what they're gonna see and what they're gonna experience and go through. And then it went back to just being about Maul, just being Maul, and I can't wait for the action. So really good, really good. So if I had to give this episode a 1 out of 10, I'm definitely gonna give this an 8. Really good start for a series like this. It really did well. It laid out the format of this. It laid out who these characters are, who you should be paying attention to, and they also foreshadowed potential plot twists. Maybe I would be shocked if they didn't have Obi-Wan Kenobi be shown or even talked about. And obviously they're gonna talk about, you know, Darth Vader. I would be shocked if there was no mention of Darth Vader. So they laid out the format of this and kind of give you an idea of it, where they're heading towards. So really good start. But that is my spoiler review, guys. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.